What do we mean by clinical research? That is an important question. When we say clinical research, we know clinical practice is to take care of patients. But in clinical research, if I have to give you a model in a simplest way, that is one on the top here, where you identify research problem, you generate based on a clinical research problem, you generate a hypothesis, then you design your study, collect data, analyze that, and share your findings with your peers or with other clinicians. But when we go into the detail of this, so this is the simplest model on the top, the linear model. But when we look at each step, so we start with identifying the research problem. This is just like any other research that we do, whether it is a public health research or any other research. We identify the research problem, clinical research problem. Then we do the literature review. We want to know what is already known about that problem. And in a few slides, we will talk about the importance of literature review and clinical equipoise. And it will make more clear why we have to do literature review at early on and during the initial steps. Then we identify the variables. What are the important key components that we are going to focus on? What would be the research variables? And we state our hypothesis. In fact, stating the hypothesis and literature review and identifying variables, these three steps are going simultaneously when we are conducting clinical research. Once we have our hypothesis written, or we have a clear research hypothesis, the next step is to design the study. Okay? So the key here is that our research hypothesis is always a priori. It comes first before even designing the study. When we design the study, that includes protocol development. That research protocol may be for some funding agency or for the IRB approvals. So this protocol or design of the study is the backbone. That is the main structure of your whole research. Once you have a sound research design and protocol developed, then you know what you are going to do. Then everything will be just collecting the data, analyzing it, and interpreting the findings and reporting your results. And once you are analyzing or interpreting the findings and reporting the results, at the same time you may identify some other research problems. You may identify certain other variables, or you may identify some pitfalls or limitations that you had in your original research that you would like to focus with the subsequent research studies. So on the previous slide, I showed you the importance of research hypothesis, because that's from where you make a shift from research idea to research hypothesis development, and that is a vital and important key component for designing your research, your clinical research. So here what we see, we have on the top, we see the research problem. How do we identify a research problem? So we have a topic of interest based on our clinical experience or the clinical theory, which was introduced in textbooks during our educational sessions, or during through the professional literature, scientific journals, conferences, annual meetings. We get to know, we get acquainted or develop our interest in specific topic, clinical topic. And then we state the research problem. Once we have the research problem stated, that does not mean that is a research question. There is a difference between identifying a research problem, developing an idea, and a research question. And we'll go over those in the subsequent slides. So we define the research question, we evaluate the research problem, identify target population, state research rationale, and identify the problems. And then we clarify research objectives and state specific purpose or hypothesis. So what is most important on this slide here is what I have on both the sides that says review of the literature. And if you notice, these arrows are going in, those are bidirectional arrows. That means that process will be ongoing throughout the process of the clinical research. not only just during the, and it is vital when we are developing our research question and we are generating research hypothesis. But even when we are collecting our data, we are analyzing, review of literature would continue.